Hello and welcome to Streaming Wars. I'm Yael Teagle,
I'm Chelsea Schwartz.
and we are the show that helps you wade through the endless sea of streaming content. And together we will find the service that is the winner. That's right. This week is brought to you by Lionsgate's Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar, which is coming out on February 12th. No matter how you are planning to celebrate Valentine's Day, we have scoured the streaming services to find what is available for you to enjoy this Valentine's Day weekend. But before we get to all that, we need to see who is our predicted winner of Streaming Wars this week. Last week, we had a surprise, right, Chelsea?
Oh my God, big surprise with Apple TV Plus winning last week, which I did not expect to see coming for quite some time.
Well, I have a feeling they're not going to be winning this week, but I wonder who will. What do you think?
Well, I mean, just to acknowledge also last week, Peacock came in second place, which I was very surprised with as well. And I honestly think that Peacock may end up in the top three again this week. But I must say, I'm feeling HBO Max as a winner.
Wow. I'm sticking with Netflix, tried and true, but I agree. I think Peacock is going to surprise us as they tend to do.
Absolutely. But also this week, before we get into like Valentine's Day content, what have you been watching and what service did you spend the most time on?
Honestly, I spent a lot of time on Hulu this past week watching reruns of SVU. It's my comfort food, and that's where I've been. What about you?
Honestly, it was a lot of HBO Max again. I mean, it tends to be, I have these long days on set. I come home and I'm exhausted and I either want Friends or Big Bang Theory, and that's going to be HBO Max. So we're just going to start this off with 3 points for HBO Max right now.
I love that you're starting off with HBO Max. That's your prediction, and I feel like you're cheating.
Well, you know, we
Well,
get to do
let's
what we want to do.
that's true. It's our show. Let's jump into Netflix and everything going on there.
All right. Yeah. Netflix, it's a great place to start. Netflix, as we know, seems to have an original for everything, whether you want a reality show or a drama, a period piece, or romantic comedy, Christmas movies, whatever. They've got it all. And they definitely have a great selection of original Valentine's Day related films, not necessarily about the holiday, but just good feel good romance movies like The Kissing Booth and To All the Boys, which we've got a new release from that franchise next week, I believe. I can't believe it's here already. They also have some lesser known titles like Happy Anniversary. This was actually a happy accident that I came across. Ben Schwartz posted on his Instagram a happy anniversary to this film he did a while back. And I was like, what film is this? I've never heard of it. And it turns out it was an interesting tale about a couple celebrating their third year anniversary and trying to navigate whether they should break up or not. And so, not the traditional rom com that you would expect, but it gets there. It's super cute and it's a Netflix original. And I was like, how have I never heard of this? So, I actually went back and watched it this week and it was wonderful. It's one of those snoozers that, like, just maybe didn't do promotion or people weren't paying attention in 2018 when it came out to Netflix originals. But I highly recommend that people go check out Happy Anniversary. And I'm giving 7 points to Netflix just for that.
Wow. I agree. I think that Netflix does so well with their originals, and they actively make shows and movies with underrepresented characters, and we see a lot of different stories. I know when I was doing research for today's episode, it was hard to find romantic comedies of all sorts that had, non-white people in them. So I'm going to give Netflix 5 points for, again, movies like The Half of It, which is a queer story as well. And Finding Ohana, which is their new like family adventure. I feel like, Valentine's Day is about love, and love doesn't have to be romantic. It can be about the love of your family. And Finding Ohana is fantastic. It has a little bit of Goonies in it. It has a little Indiana Jones in it. It's a perfect family movie. So I'm going to give them 5 points for that as well. But also, you can find some of your favorite classic rom-coms there.
Right. I mean, Netflix obviously they started with just being this great library building service. So besides having these great originals, they do have some classic rom-coms like 17 Again. They've got the third installment of Bridget Jones' Baby, which no one needs to see because Hugh Grant's not in it. So -3 points to Netflix for only having that one. But then they also have like Sex and the City, which HBO Max also has, and Eat, Pray, Love. If you want something that's more anti-Valentines or more realistic, or heartbreaking, Marriage Story is also there. That'll definitely tug at those heartstrings. What a Girl Wants, My Best Friend's Wedding. Those are some of the ones that really stand out. Now, if you're trying to just discover something in this category and what we just said isn't of interest to you, there is a general category for Netflix called romance movies that you can search to. It's one of the main genre bars that you can find within the app, but it doesn't really even include a lot of the films I just mentioned. And the films it does include are like D-list movies that like no one's heard of. So I'm taking another 3 points away from Netflix for not helping me navigate through some fun Valentine's Day related films, even if you're just celebrating Galentine's Day. Like what help us out, Netflix.
That's so funny. I'm going to give them 1 point for having the Sex and the City movie, even though they don't have Sex and the City, the show, because I find that so funny. So they get a point for that, just for making me laugh.
Well, Amazon is another one that is not making it easy to find things. So right off the gates, I'm taking 3 points away from Amazon Prime Video. And this isn't just about their Valentine's Day subcategory. Like in general, unless you know what you're going in for to find it on Amazon, you can't find it. So please work on that.
I agree. I think the Amazon interface is pretty terrible. I think we talked about it during our Amazon Focus show last season. But I will give them 5 points because they have True Lies, which is like a classic. And I haven't seen it in years and I hope it holds up. But because in my mind it's still good, 5 points right there. But I'm going to take away 1 point for Chemical Hearts, which was Lily Reinhardt's movie. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was cute. I really liked the novel. I was like, I will let you take the point away. I'm not going to give it any points for that. I do love that they have some other originals like sYLVIES Love, and also that series, what was it, Modern Love, that they have. That's another Amazon original. Those are very interesting takes on love stories. So 2 points to Amazon for that.
I'm also going to add 5 points for some great Galentine's Day content with A Simple Favor, which was an underrated, I think it was underappreciated. And if you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick. Also Like a Boss, which I have been dying to see. I know, so silly, but it's great. That one's Tiffany Haddish and Rose Byrne and Selma Hayek. So, get your girls together virtually and watch A Simple Favor and Like a Boss, because it really does make you remember.
Actually, virtually is a great option because Amazon does have Amazon Watch Party, which you can do through Amazon's website and watch in real time with everyone. And they've got those fun, cute corgi emojis that you can put in your chat thing. So, let's add another 3 points to Amazon.
I totally agree. Let's head over to your favorite network of all time, Disney Plus.
Which is funny because it's not the network I like ever watch, but yet it is my all-time favorite network just purely because it's Disney. But you would think, so Disney is like known for these princess animation movies, which brings up this idealistic version of romance and love that no one can adhere to, but we all wish really happened. So you would think in general that Disney should win this category for like having Valentine's Day content just for the princess movies alone. And you know what? I'm going to give him 4 points for the princess movies. I definitely wish I had that great love story. And it doesn't have to be just the animations. They've got the live action Cinderella and some of those as well. That's wonderful. But I have to say, when it comes to searching through this app again, they have built a Valentine's Day collection, but it's not on your homepage. You have to scroll to search, and as if you're actually going to search for something, and then let the little collections pop up underneath the search bar. And then there is a Valentine's Day collection there. So it's harder to get to their curated playlist, but it's there. 1 point for Disney Plus.
I think that's a fair amount. I will say I was pleasantly surprised to find some live action, not fairy tale stories there, like While You Were Sleeping and The Princess Bride, which I guess kind of a fairy tale, but you know what I mean. mean, I just really love that those are there. So I'm going to give them 3 points for housing, classics like While You Were Sleeping.
I'm just going to give them 5 points for having Princess Bride in general, because that's one of my all-time favorite movies, and just 5 points for that. But since I'm giving 5 points to Disney Plus for Princess Bride, that means I also have to give 5 points to Hulu, because they also have Princess Bride, which is weird, except for the fact that Disney is the majority holder and owning Hulu. So now it just seems like Disney Plus and Hulu are sharing a catalog. I again have no idea what's happening with these services. But I agree, like 10 Things I Hate About You, While We Were Sleeping, those are some great titles. We asked some folks online on Sprinkled by Magic, that is my pop culture Instagram, what movies they would watch for either with their romantic partner or like their girlfriends or whatever. And somebody suggested Babes in Toyland, which I thought was interesting. Also available on Disney Plus. And a few people brought up Godmothered, which is one of the most recent original films on Disney Plus, which I do think it's cute enough to fit into this category. So another 3 points to Disney Plus.
Absolutely. I think Godmothered is a perfect example, just like Finding Ohana, about the importance of family love more so than a need for a relationship or a prince. I mean, not to spoil it, but that's the whole plot.
Which, and speaking of, you've also got Princess Diaries on Disney Plus, which in Princess Diaries 2, she can't become queen without marrying somebody. And eventually at the end of it, they throw that rule out of Genovia because, women can be badass and they don't have to have a man on their arm. And that's great. So another 2 points to Disney Plus.
Agreed. Let's head over to HBO Max, because this one's got some exciting stuff going on.
Oh my God, HBO Max is doing it right. So I logged into HBO Max to watch Big Bang Theory, which I've already said, and the big banner at the top had all these hearts in the background. It kind of looked like this background, but with hearts. And it said straight from the hearts section. And I clicked on it, and they have a whole listing of all of their romance movies, but not just the romantic comedies. They have a subcategory for bad romance, where things like Birds of Prey are in there, which is a great Valentine's Day movie. So this is crazy, but because everyone else is making it so difficult, 10 points to HBO Max for this really well thought out playlist and category header section.
I'm going to add another 8 points to that because Birds of Prey is a really great Valentine's Day movie, and they really smartly capitalized on that. I think that's the right move.
Absolutely. And so then besides Birds of Prey, we've got classic stories that people love, like The Notebook. That's another one of those heart-wrenching ones, like Marriage Story, that's just going to make you cry. So if you want to cry on Valentine's Day, if you need that, you've got The Notebook. There's also, You've Got Mail, or some of my favorites, Going the Distance, 2 Weeks Notice, My Big Fat Greek Wedding. Also, as we mentioned before, Sex and the City, but not just the movie 1 and 2, but also the series. And, soon to come. And just like that, the brand new spinoff for Sex and the City coming to HBO Max.
I'm going to take away 1 point because you reminded me of that. So I'm taking away 1 point from HBO Max. But I will say the fact that they have Crazy Rich Asians is a really great move. Because again, like I said, a lot of these rom-coms are very white focused, are very straight focused. So also Love and Basketball is over on HBO Max. That's 2 points for that as well. I also think that like a classic, if you're looking for those, When Harry Met Sally, that is a great classic. I know people argue about whether it's like a New Year's movie or a Christmas movie or whatever kind of movie.
Why can't it be all of the above?
Yeah, exactly. It's all of the above.
Also, they do have, in case you watched Bridget Jones' Baby on Netflix, you can watch Bridget Jones' The Edge of Reason, which is the sequel to the first one. It's the movie before Baby, which does have Hugh Grant, but you still can't watch Bridget Jones' Diary itself unless you have a Starz subscription. So -2 points to HBO Max for having the sequel and not the original.
That's fair. That's fair.
All right. I think that moves us into Hulu.
Yes. Hulu is a little disappointing, I would say, in their collection. But the fact that they are on the board means they're getting 5 points straight away just from being here, because some services are not.
It's very true. I was like, and they do have some good titles available, but a lot of the ones that they have are shared with other services. Now, if you don't have every service like me and Yael do, this is great for you. because Princess Bride, You've Got Mail, stuff like that available on Hulu. You also have some of their originals like Palm Springs and Happiest Season, if you haven't watched those yet.
Yes. Although Happiest Season is a Christmas movie, it is a queer love movie and belongs in Valentine's Day as well, especially if you are part of the shippers who are shipping characters that aren't actually together, then definitely watch it during Valentine's Day. I would also say that Love, Simon and the sequel series Love, Victor gives Hulu another 6 points just for having some good queer stories.
And they also have a great Valentine's Day movie, Booksmart. It's definitely a solid film if you haven't seen that. I would say overall, while this collection is small, it's mighty. 3 points to Hulu.
Oh, that's so nice. Let's move over to Peacock now. I am shocked that they are on the board for this round, but they do have some stuff that, we love to watch.
Oh my God, Peacock. Again, they actually knocked it out of the park, in my opinion. So, like HBO Max, with HBO Max's Straight from the Heart section, Peacock has a date night section, which is a great compilation of all of their films they're recommending for, date night, but it doesn't just have to be a date night. It can be Valentine's Day. It can be, I'm the type of Valentine's Day supporter. I've never actually had a date on Valentine's Day, but I will watch all of the romantic comedies and not care because I love romantic comedies. So the date night section is great for my individual quarantine date night. Just like with HBO Max for making it simple, Peacock, I'm giving you 10 points for the date night section, but more importantly, under this date night section, you have Love Actually. Love Actually did not exist on any service during Christmas when I needed it. I needed to watch this over and over on Christmas. I had to buy it on Amazon so that I could watch it. And now you have it available on Peacock in time for Valentine's Day. You know what? I'm not going to knock it. I'm just happy it's finally there for someone. Another 10 points to Peacock.
Wow, that's a lot. Oh man. I'm gonna add some points as well. I think that Peacock having the 50 Shades movie, 50 Shades of Grey, is definitely worth a point. Also, because they have Just Go With It, which I personally think is one of Adam Sandler's most underrated romantic comedies. It was marketed poorly and nobody saw it. So watch it now. Just Go With It gets it another 3 points from me.
I also love that they have Forgetting Sarah Marshall. That movie, which then created the spinoff for Russell Brand for Get Him to the Greek. The combination of those are just comedy gold to me. And I love how even in Get Him to the Greek, there's reminders of Forgetting Sarah Marshall, and they're like, they tie them together well. So for having Forgetting Sarah Marshall, I'm giving another 3 points to Peacock.
Oh man, Peacock might be in the lead.
Yeah, it's crazy. But you know who's not in the lead, Yael?
No.
Apple TV Plus.
I am disgusted with Apple TV Plus's lack of content for this season.
They don't care about love, apparently.
I'm taking away 3 points from Apple TV Plus. Points. They're just in the negative today because how could they? How could they?
Seriously. Just try a little bit harder. There has to be some sort of quality romantic comedy that you're producing that you could have put out during this time or something. I'm sure I'm going to love Schmigadoon when it comes out later. It's going to be great. But this week, I feel bad. You won last week, and I think you might be the worst loser, the biggest loser of this week. It's unfortunate. We have no recommendations for Apple TV Plus. But you know what else we also don't have recommendations for? So Yael and I went into this with a list of movies. We were like, let's see where these exist because these are great movies people should watch during this time. Everything from Crybaby to First Wives Club and Valentine's Day to Bridesmaids. And you can't find these movies anywhere.
Yeah, a lot of these classics or iconic, or even the one that shares the name with The Holiday, is not available to stream, which is mind-boggling.
Yeah, so first of all, there's a few of those films: First Wives Club, Pretty in Pink, Serendipity. A lot of these were given to us by viewers of things that they'd like to watch over Valentine's Day. Don't exist. Those three in particular are Paramount films. Paramount doesn't currently have their service. It doesn't launch until March 4th. So I actually am not going to take away points from Paramount or anything because of them not having their service yet. I just am going to put a strong recommendation that if you're watching Paramount and when you launch on March 4th, these movies better be on it.
I totally get that. There are some films that I know are, I believe, Universal films and therefore should be on Peacock, like said Valentine's Day movie. It's weird because New Year's Eve is available to stream, but not Valentine's Day. And Isn't It Romantic, which is Rebel Wilson's film and was also underappreciated, also should be on Peacock, and it's not. Girls Trip, which is a quality Valentine's Day movie.
Yeah, that was probably the number one recommendation as a Valentine's Day film we received on Instagram was Girls Trip, not available. And also The Breakup, not available. Bridesmaid, not available. Crybaby, one of my favorite Johnny Depp films of all time, not available. I'm taking away 3 points from Peacock.
I'm doing that as well. Another 3 gone from Peacock.
Yeah, speaking of taking points away, let's talk about what HBO Max doesn't have available. While they do have a great catalog, and I could probably spend the rest of February just watching HBO Max, and I wouldn't get through all of the lovey-dovey movies and series that I want to watch. There's a bunch of weird things going on, like He's Just Not That Into You was on Netflix. And it's not there now. So -2 points from Netflix. So it could be on HBO or HBO Max because it's a Warner Brothers title, but it's not. So 2 points away from HBO Max for that. But also, like, The Wedding Singer is available on Netflix outside of the US, but you can't find it anywhere here. It would be a great one for your streaming service, Warner Brothers. And Something's Gotta Give is shared between Sony and Warner Brothers, but Sony doesn't even have a service. And I think it actually was originally on HBO Max at launch and it's not there now. Miss Congeniality, music and lyrics. Like, you know what? I'm taking another 5 points away from HBO Max.
I'm going to take away 2 from Netflix for He's Just Not That Into You and for The Wedding Singer. Because Netflix, you have a deal with Adam Sandler, so have all his content, please.
Right?
Yeah, but HBO Max is also losing a point for me because you're right. These things need to be there and they're not.
Yeah. And then, in the same spirit, we got to take points away from Disney. Disney Plus and Hulu. I'm not sure where these films would fit within their branding tools, but The Devil Wears Prada, The Proposal, and Pretty Woman, all solid films that should be either on Disney Plus or Hulu. I'm going to take away 2 points from both services.
Totally agree.
And then that brings us to some classics: Sense and Sensibility, Sleepless in Seattle, The Vow. These are all Sony films. Now, Sony, this is a message to you directly. What are you doing? Where are your films going? You have a lot of great films and TV shows. Like Outlander is actually a Sony television series, but it's a Starz series that then it ends up on Netflix. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, that was Sony. It was on Netflix. It's not there now. So clearly Sony favors Netflix. Why aren't these films on Netflix then? Or why haven't you launched your own service or announced some sort of exclusive partnership with one of these services? I'm taking away a point from everyone.
I'm taking away a point from you for recommending that they start another service. You lose a point today, Chelsea.
But I mean, it's only the likelihood thing. Like, everyone seems to have a service. Just what are you even doing, Sony? Like, and I'm finding out more and more that the films that I want to watch on these streaming services are Paramount or Sony films. And like, at least Paramount has Paramount Plus coming. So I'm hesitant to be like, oh, my answers are solved and all of the films I want to watch are now going to be available. We'll see what happens on March 4th. I was like, but I don't know, like the majority of what I want to watch, not available anywhere. It's very frustrating.
I agree. I think that us trying to find Valentine's Day and Galentine's Day content was a very disappointing venture. So I'm going to take away a point from each of the services for stressing me out.
Yeah. Oh, poor Apple TV Plus, just like, whoo-hoo. Well, let's get into some happier headlines for the week. Not necessarily Valentine's Day related, but some big news coming down the pipelines. We heard this week that Disney Plus is working on yet another Marvel series, and this one is set in Wakanda. 10 points to Disney Plus. This is being part of a package with Ryan Coogler. I'm in.
Agreed. 8 points to Disney Plus. So excited about the Wakanda series. And with like how WandaVision's going and how into it I am, I can't wait to see what this Wakanda series turns out to be. It's going to be great. I just know it will. I'm excited.
I also heard this week, I discovered a lot of things on Instagram this week, which is not a streaming service, but thank you, Instagram. Dan Stevens, one of my favorite actors, he's my Disney Prince of choice as he played Beast in Beauty and the Beast, available on Disney Plus, 2 points. Uh, Dan Stevens posted a flyer for a new, I think it's a series that he's in for Amazon Prime Video called Solos. And Anne Hathaway is also in it. And it was this, I'm forgetting the cast now, but the entire cast was insanely amazing. Just like completely just blown me away of like, what is this? So I'm giving 3 points to Amazon Prime Video for just quality intrigue as to what is Solos. And thank you for booking Dan Stevens in it.
I have no points to add or take away to this note.
Well, speaking of Amazon Prime Video, maybe you'll have some points for this. Did you watch the brand new Coming to America trailer?
Absolutely. I am going with 10 points to Amazon for this. I'm so excited.
I am so excited, but I'm concerned because we had a teaser trailer that showed a lot of different footage than this official trailer. And this official trailer, I was very happy to know that we're not going to spend much time in Queens. It looks like he's going to go find his son and bring him back to Zamunda, like fine. I'm concerned that we've now seen all of the good bits of the film, because sometimes this happens. And what I've seen so far, it looks like every moment of this movie is amazing. And everyone that's still alive that was in the first movie is back. And that's incredible. But because I'm worried that they've leaked too much, I'm only going to give it 8 points. just 8 points.
That's fair. I think that's fair. Also, the Golden Globe nominations came out this week, which, if you have been paying attention, streaming services are taking the lead in these nominations. So
I was blown away by that, Yael. Like, literally, I was going through the nominations going, did any linear television program get nominated? And I was like, oh, Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist on NBC. That was well-deserved. But otherwise, this was the year of streaming services.
Yeah, so Best Series Drama is all streaming services. Best Series Musical or Comedy is mostly streaming services, and Schitt's Creek, which got all of its attention by being on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
So Netflix is getting another 5 points from me just for giving the world Schitt's Creek. But all of these services, I'm just so impressed with them taking the lead. And I think that, the pandemic kind of helped with that.
I definitely think the pandemic helped with that slightly. However, television wasn't really hit last year. And in terms of eligibility, like it's the only thing that was able to really keep pushing the same content forward. Like seasons still finished in the normal springtime area. And we got premieres just in November and all of that was still eligible. So it's really just showing the power and impact of these streaming services, in which case I'm giving every service 1 point except for Peacock, because Peacock didn't really have anything last year until Saved by the Bell, and Saved by the Bell is not nominated. Even Apple is getting 1 point from me because Apple with the morning show got a lot of award buzz last year. This was starting to pave the way. But I have to mention, I'm going to give 5 points right now to Hulu, because my favorite show of last year that I felt like nobody watched, and I was like heartbroken that no one was talking about this, was The Great. And The Great is nominated for Best Series, for Best Female Actor, and for Best Male Actor in a Comedy Series. And I'm so happy because the trades were speculating that maybe Elle Fanning would get Best Actress. No one was saying Nicholas Hoult. Nicholas Hoult deserves this award. I am so happy to see he's nominated.
I agree. I'm giving HBO Max a point for Kaylee Cuoco and The Flight Attendant. I'm also going to give another point to Apple TV Plus for Ted Lasso, because Ted Lasso is just fantastic. I rewatched it, and I'm not one to rewatch a lot of stuff aside from SVU. So I give it another point for Ted Lasso.
And a lot of the stuff that we talked about right here on Streaming Wars, Yael, also got nominated nominated, like we predicted the Trial of Chicago 7. I
Mhm.
mean, it's there. And if it doesn't win best screenplay by a landslide, I don't know what to tell you. Like Aaron Sorkin went through over 200 pages of a courtroom transcript to figure out what he wanted for the gems of this. And then Sacha Baron Cohen being nominated for best actor for Trial of Chicago 7. I am here for that. 5 points to Netflix for that. And another 2 points because Emily in Paris somehow got award attention. And I freaking love the show, but I never saw that coming.
I'm going to take away a point because yes, it's a good show, but it's not award worthy.
That's how I felt about it too. I was like, I'm surprised, but also The Mandalorian got nominated for best drama. And I just went, so this is what we're doing now. And I mean, it's a great show. And granted, the Golden Globes are nominated by members of the press, and there was a lot of press attention for The Mandalorian. And rightfully so. It's a great show. You know, and it's a very surprising year for the Golden Globes. So yeah, I'm excited to see what happens. When are the Globes? Like April, something like that, maybe March. I'm excited to see what happens.
I agree. It's time to head into our challenge yourself adventure. Every week we choose a title that neither of us would probably watch and challenge ourselves and you to check it out. Last week we were challenged to check out Hot Dog on HBO Max. What did you think of this show?
So Hot Dog, it's hot as in like haute couture. You know, in case people are wondering why we don't know how to pronounce it. Because it's not H-O-T, it's H-A-U-T-E. And it's basically about posh styling and grooming of pets. And you've got these really, I don't want to call them famous groomers, but like they're the best in the community of pet grooming on the show. And they're put through challenges to do fun things with these pets, to groom them in fun, creative ways. And I'm sorry, it's just basically a bunch of cute pets. And I found that very soothing, very comforting. Like I watched the show, I had just gotten off a 14-hour set day, and I was like, ugh, I don't feel like watching reality TV. I just want to watch Big Bang Theory right now. And but I was like, one episode, we can do it while I eat some dinner. And I was just like, I could watch this all day. This is the most adorable thing. I didn't care about the competition at all, but just watching the dogs, and like some of those dogs, when they're getting bathed or groomed, are just so happy, you know? And I'm going to give the show 4 points for HBO Max.
Yeah, I'm going to give 5 points to HBO Max because of cute dogs. That's it. Just cute dogs. That's all you really need. Premise is unnecessary. Yeah, it's really, the competition might be exciting if you're into reality competition. I feel the same way about The Pack. If that's your thing, that's great. Watch it for the dogs. That's what it's for.
And
Puppies.
normally, like, you put a dog in anything and we're like, yep, it's great. Watch it for the dogs. But there are times like with Disney Plus, It's a Dog's Life. Nobody needs to watch that. -2 points from Disney Plus. That show did not need to exist.
All right. On that note, I think we're going to be skipping a week for the challenge yourself, but that's okay.
We're also skipping a week because we're not filming next week. There will be 2 weeks before another new episode of Streaming Wars.
But before then, we have to find out who won this week.
Drum roll. And this week's winner is Disney Plus. Completely unexpected. I really thought HBO Max would blow us out of the water there, but it looks like they came in tied in 3rd place. So I was just completely off the mark about HBO Max, but congratulations to Disney Plus.
Yeah, and at least Apple TV did not even get on the board, because they should be ashamed. Thank you again for joining us for today's Streaming Wars. Make sure you have liked and subscribed us everywhere that we are streaming this on that hashtag show. And be sure to check out Lionsgate's Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar, coming out February 12th. We'll see you next time.